Monty and Bea didn't do it. And I don't want him to get into trouble. But that wasn't all.
Well, what was it, Lizzie? Come on, you can tell me.
Before she died, Edie told me what it was like being on the outside. Poor, lonely old woman. Nowhere to go. No one to care for. I don't want to be like that, Mrs. Davidson. In here, I got a warm bed, 3 meals a day, and I got me friends, me real friends. I couldn't bear to be without them. And on the outside, what could I do?
And you thought that if you were convicted of Bella's murder, you could spend the rest of your time here? Well, it's not so frightening on the outside, Lizzie. There are people who could help you.
That's not all life is about. It's no good being helped. You have to be wanted. Edie knew that. What would I be good for, Mrs. Davidson? Please don't make me leave. Please, Mrs. Davidson.
Denny, it's about time you rang. Been bored stupid. Yeah, the social worker left at 9. Oh yeah, the screw had the morning off. She left an hour ago. You can come round now. Yeah, some good grog. And we got the stereo. And, yeah, well, there's the double bed.
Morning.
Morning.
Just a minute. Thanks, Ted. Thanks, Mrs. Jackson.
Oh, you're back early?
Yeah, my lecture was cancelled for this afternoon. The day I went to trial.
The charge against Melinda isn't quite as serious as yours was.
Still, I'll bet she's a bundle of nerves. I hope it works out for her.
You've heard the news, Meg?
Yes, Vera rang me.
Karen, would you go straight to my office, please? The police want to interview you. It's all right. You're not a suspect. It's just a routine interview.
How's Melinda? Vera told me that she was the one who found the body.
She's very shaken, poor girl. It's a pity this had to happen on the day of a trial.
She's been completely dismissed as a suspect.
Oh, yes, it's pretty clear who did it.
I find it very hard to believe that Ferguson would go that far.
I wouldn't have thought so either. Looks as though we were both wrong.
Murdered?
I'm afraid so. When did you last see Albrecht?
Last night. She came into my room and we talked for a while.
Did she seem fearful at all?
Oh, she seemed quite confident. She felt sure that Martha would protect her from the other women.
What did she talk to you about?
Well, about what she'd done. Killing the baby. I think she just wanted someone to talk to.
She was remorseful for what she'd done?
No, not really. She just wanted company. Martha's not much of a conversationalist.
Why did she choose you to talk to?
Well, I never treated her badly, and I guess she felt I'd understand.
Why should she think that? You're not in for baby killing, are you?
No, but I had an abortion.
Yes, well, did you ever overhear anyone threatening Albrecht?
Oh,
You're sure?
quite sure.
Am I interrupting?
Not at all, Mrs. Davidson. Please come in. That's all, thank you. Well, there's not much more I can do here until we have the official autopsy. Everything's pretty well cut and dried. But too cut and dried. There's one thing.
What's that?
That scratch on Albrecht's body, as if something had been torn from around the neck. A necklace, perhaps. Well, we'll take our leave for now, Mrs. Davidson. We'll be back.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
What are you staring at?
They're bees things. I think you should leave them alone.
Oh, do you just? Only wanted a fag? She won't be needing them where she's going.
What are you talking about?
Haven't you heard? Gone and gotten herself into dead trouble this time.
Who, Bee?
And Monty got themselves stuck with Bella's murder.
Oh, that's ridiculous. There must have been others with a motive.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know. Someone just wanting to get them into trouble.
Who'd want to do it so much that they'd go and bump somebody off? And do you know what time is?
I don't know. 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Do you know if that Vernon bitch has left yet?
I haven't seen her, but I shouldn't think so.
Hope she's still around.
I love him. I love Tom so much. And I'll love his baby. It's all I have of him now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my client, still badly shaken from the traumatic experience of finding the body of a murdered woman, has had to stand in the dock and bare her soul to this courtroom. Well, she has done so bravely and with honesty, admitting her crime, but letting us see a glimpse of the inner turmoil that drove her to it. She's a young girl, little more than a child, brought up in the country, unused to the city's sophisticated ways. Yes, this young girl was an easy mark for the unscrupulous man who professed to love her. She was too naive, too inexperienced to even take simple contraceptive measures. She soon became pregnant, and the baby she carried became her only concern. Deserted by her lover and wanting so desperately to have a father for the child, she took the ill-advised step of blackmail. She wasn't interested in the money. No, that meant nothing to her, as you have heard her swear. She loves Thomas Burton and will love his baby. Now, we all know how far a woman's maternal instincts can drive her in the protection of her young. I now leave it to you to decide whether this young girl, who has already suffered a great deal of mental torment, should have to suffer even further.
Must be nice to be able to put on your coat and go home.
Yes, well, I do any work here. Can I do something for you?
Yeah, I want to see Leanne.
The last time you saw Leanne, she ended up running away in tears.
It wouldn't have happened if you'd kept your nose out of things.
I was only trying to help.
Yeah, well, you can help now. I want to make it up with her, see?
Good. I'll bring Leanne in. I'm sure she'd like to make it up with you, too.
You, Melinda Jane Cross, have been found guilty of blackmail, a serious offence in the eyes of the law, and a particularly distasteful and cowardly act in the eyes of society. However, there are extenuating circumstances. Counsel has pleaded that you acted as you did out of the ill-founded belief that your threats would result in securing a father for your child. You certainly have no previous record of any similar criminal or even malicious behavior. The very fact that you are with child has also strongly influenced my decision. It is a sad thing indeed for a baby to be born in custody. Fortunately, this will not have to happen in your case. You will be released